Hello, everybody. I'm Sean's Mapping or the Sultanate Empire, and in today's video, we're going to be doing what if the Cold War went differently, or what if the Soviet Union never died and the Cold War continued into the 20 English hard, and what if the Soviet Union continued into the 21st century, basically if they didn't collapse and fall apart essentially. Now, this is just a trial video to see if you guys, like this kind of concept. So here we're going to be focusing down in Southeast Asia, as it is, as you can tell, it is the most prominent kind of stuff. Now, I would just like to say this is not my map. I did not create this map. Um, This map was created by someone else. I'm blanking on his name, but in the next video, once I remember who created this, I will give them a shout out for creating this amazing detailed map. Because, bro, amazingly, like there's just so many details you guys just do not understand. There's just like so much detail in in this map that I have found. Um, but again, this is not my map. I did not create this map. So basically, it's alternate history, but Cold War. Like it because the year is currently 1970. It is the 1970s right now, and we're basically going to be following the Vietnam War and many other wars that took place in Southeast Asia um, during this time. Now, I am the because I'm American, the only war I'm really taught about here in Southeast Asia is the Vietnam War. So all of these other wars I will have to do research on, and figure out all of the factions involved, all of the other type of stuff that went down during this time period down here in Southeast Asia. Because for like the first video or two, if you guys want this to be a series, we'll be down here in Southeast Asia because it's one of the most chaotic areas. Also, South Africa, or well, just Africa in general, was very chaotic. Anyways, let's get into today's video. We will be seeing Viet Cong forces take over many southern parts of South Vietnam as they quickly and fairly easily push back these southern Vietnamese forces along with their allied American supporters. Now, the Viet Cong are very prominent forces and figures here in Vietnam, and they are one of the reasons that America was pushed out of Vietnam. And then Vietnam later fell to the North Vietnamese. Now, it's actually really funny because I do believe Vietnam is a socialist republic now. I believe they're either still communist or they are socialist, and they're one of the countries in Southeast Asia, besides like the Philippines, if you want to consider the Philippines a part of Southeast Asia, but I doubt anyone does. Um, they're one of the only countries in Southeast Asia that actually holds very good relations with the United States, beside considered considering they're like a form of communism essentially. But we will see the South Vietnamese be pushed back very heavily, only controlling this small piece of territory right here. But we'll be seeing the South Vietnamese push back against the Viet Cong very, very heavily, making some gains over here and then pushing up the coast as well with American support until eventually they reach right here, meeting heavy, heavy Viet Cong resistance. Now, in this world, the US, although it sounds impossible, did not commit their atrocities, even though the US does not want to admit they did. They did. They killed several people, several thousands of people, actually. And they may not want to admit it, but they did. Like, they're not innocent. They're not. They're very not. Although they try to claim to be, they're not innocent for jack shit. Like, they are not innocent for anything. But that is besides the point. We'll see the South Vietnamese invade into controlled Viet Cong territory, which does give them heavy, heavy losses in this war. But they will continue just like so, taking all of these areas. They will then begin to push in the southern areas, pushing back the Viet Cong down here in the south to try and basically regain all of this southern land. And it goes fairly well until right about here, where the Viet Cong reveals their trump card and they begin to use planes to bash and absolutely destroy the Viet, the South Vietnamese military forces. And it's at this point where the U.S., who is currently in the north, is being requested to now move down south and help the South Vietnamese as they're being pushed back. The Americans, eventually, more of them arrive, so now they're able to kind of spread out across the entire country, and they do exactly that. They spread out across the entire country, with now being in the south and in the north, and they're able to push back the Viet Cong heavily in the south, as they kind of begin to cut these individual groups back into being, cut off from one another and separated and disorganized and uncoordinated with one another. And they're able to push them back to right about here as the Americans bring in special forces to begin launching operations into all of these Viet Viet Cong controlled areas. Now, China and North Vietnam have been supporting the Viet Cong during this entire conflict, as they did in real life, which is to be, expected. Now, this was the new series I was talking about in the previous video because, like I said, there will be two videos going up today. The one that should already be up, and this one, which should have just come out. Um, Now, I would just like to say that this, like I said, is more of a trial video, so um, it's primarily to see whether or not you guys would want me to do a series on this, or if this was just, a nice little one off, because I can always come back and we can always do alternate things with certain countries that had something different happen to them during the Cold War, or because I don't think anyone's really started in like around the time of the Cold War or like did alternate stuff involving the Cold War, primarily because I think it's like big topic, and a lot of people don't really want to do that, but hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. But let's get back into the video. We'll be seeing the Americans continue their push against the Viet Cong here in the north as the Viet Cong lines continue to just crumble against the weight of American forces, and they begin to get pushed back even more until eventually the entirety of the northern coast of South Vietnam is retaken, and these two areas are split back into two. And it is right about here where we will be seeing the South Vietnamese completely take over the northern territories from the Viet Cong, completely pushing them out and completely defeating them. Now, I would just like to say that this series, if you guys would like it to become a series, uh, will come out whenever I sort out my schedule. Because right now, like all three videos, like all three series that I have, if you guys would like this to become a series, um, is would be strenuous for me to do, but I could do it because if you have been subscribed to me for a very long time, you will know that in my previous videos, I used to upload like 3 times a week for every week, which I could go back to. I really could. Um, but that's besides the point. If you would like me to upload 3 times a week, let me know. I could, I could do many things with that schedule, and I could always just work around school and life. Sorry. Like I said, it is like 1 o'clock in the morning for me. It is very early. I just wanted to get this video and the video that's already up, out to you guys, um, before I ended up going to school and forgetting about it. So we'll continue. We'll get back into it before I get more distracted. But we're going to be moving away from Vietnam for a little bit, and we're going to be going to Cambodia, as we're going to be seeing the rebel groups here in Cambodia continue to fight against the government. And we'll see the Cambodians also receive support from the Americans, because this is supposed to be alternate, and we can assume the Americans want to try and stop as much as they can here in Southeast Asia. So they help the Cambodian government against their rebels that they have. Whether it was the right side or not remains to be seen. Like whether or not it was the right side to pick remains to be seen. And I'm sure that we'll see whether or not the American support is, you know, able to save the Cambodians, which I highly doubt, um, due to the fact that the rebels are fairly prominent. And I mean, the Cambodians just lost their coast as the rebels secure it, and they completely push the Cambodians out of the southern areas along the coastline, leaving the Cambodian government looking like this, and about 60 to 40,000 American troops stranded within Cambodia. But thanks to American support, the Cambodian government is able to push back somewhat and take back all of these territories right here. Sorry, had to clear the throat. Now, the Cambodian government, which is very much not strong enough to face the factions on their own, is able to eliminate one of the factions which is actually bleeding over into Vietnam. So, I'm sorry. I'm still kind of sick from the last time I uploaded. We'll be seeing the Cambodian and the Americans continue to push against the rebels as they keep doing a good job, you know, here in um, Southeast Asia, showing that if the Americans did things right, they could have actually saved South Vietnam and probably surrounding countries from their collapses. Eventually, they're able to take the coast of these areas and kind of go like so. Now, if I'm doing something that's not realistic, let me know down in the comments. Now, I do know the last video wasn't as long as this one, I do believe, but I'm I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. This will be the end of the video, as I do have some other things I need to do. This video will come out fairly soon. This video should come out like an hour or two, maybe a little longer after the first one comes out. And if it doesn't come out at all, then I'm sorry. I'm telling you now, I'm sorry that it didn't come out when it was supposed to come out, even though in the previous video I said it would come out like an hour or two, or, a little longer after that. But I'm Sean's Mapping, or the Sultanate Empire. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, If you did, go down beneath today's video, hit that like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike button. If you want to subscribe to my channel, it is right beneath the video. You can click it, it's right on there. And you can hit it so you are notified after hitting that bell notification icon. After hitting that, you can be notified every time I upload and a new video hits my channel. I'm Tom's Mapping, or the Sultan Empire. I hope you, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the rest of your day or night, wherever you may be, wherever you may live. And, and, if you didn't, well, I hope you do. You know, if you're not having a good day, I hope you are having a good day. Anyways, I'm Tom's Mapping, or the Sultan Empire, and I'll see y'all in the next video. See ya.